There is not one single debate that will continue to cause a split in the Newcastle United supporting community than away tickets and the away ticket loyalty points system. Maybe not a couple of years ago when nobody wanted to go, but now that Newcastle United are under new ownership and everybody wants a sniff of an away match following Eddie Howe's beautiful mags, it's causing more debate than ever. Because there was a meeting organised by the club, as I make this video tonight, to discuss away tickets and the away ticket system, I thought I would jump on and give my thoughts and talk about what is an issue that doesn't really have a correct answer. It's more going to be about each individual's opinion. It's a bit of a juicy debate, so you don't want to miss it. So do us a favour, Newcastle fans, and make sure you stick around. Ho. This is a juicy debate, and I cannot wait to see what some of the comments are and what the opinions are on my opinion and on this video. But before we get into the juicy stuff, Newcastle fans, if you are new around here, drop down, give us a little likey loo. That goes an incredibly long way to getting this video to a couple more people. Wouldn't that be nice? Wouldn't that be nice? And if you like my opinion by the end of this video, whack that subscribe button. The America trip, by the way, next week is coming together lovely. I've literally just got off booking another flight off my computer before making this video. And it's just, I love going on these trips to meet people, and I'm planning on getting in a car with a guy I've never met before who I spoke on the phone to, who's travelling solo from England to United States. We're going to travel in the car to Philadelphia from New York, so I'm going to meet him. I've got an American gentleman who's never been to see Newcastle play before who I've just video called. I'm going to be sharing an apartment with him, and I'm going to get his story. He's excited as hell to watch Newcastle play for the first time. It's just incredible. I cannot wait to meet all these people. I'm constantly messaging and getting inbox messages and comments in supporters groups. It's just going to be a magical week. And again, yes, I am going there. So if you don't want to miss any of that, please whack that subscribe. 1 week and counting. 1 week and counting before Eddie Howe's hot dog and Bud Light mags. Can't wait. But yes, we are here to do a video, and we are here to talk about something very, very... it causes a hot debate, and it will continue to. I'm involved in conversations with friends and other supporters about the away loyalty system on the regular. Now, before we get into my opinion, my solutions, if there is any to this, what I'm going to say is this is an argument that will always be clouded by individual bias. And what I mean by that is, to get over that jargon, all I mean by that is if you are a Newcastle fan who has followed the club home and away for 20 years through thick and thin, and you have, let's say, 160 loyalty points, which is going to get you to almost every Newcastle away game when tickets are released, you are going to be very much of the argument to not change a single thing. Your loyalty's being rewarded. You've put in the hard miles. Nothing should be changed. If you're a Newcastle fan who, say, had a season ticket, even under Ashley, say you've had a season ticket for the last 5 years, let's say, as this fake person that I'm using as an example, yes, you might have been able to get to some away games from 0 loyalty points under my Ashley, because not that many people wanted to go to the longer trips, to the cup games. But generally speaking, you'd only be sitting now on, let's say, 15 loyalty points. 15 loyalty points is not going to get you anything. You've had a season ticket for 5 years, and you are going to very much be looking for some sort of change to the system so you can keep accruing loyalty points and getting to away matches and experiencing it. And that's the divide. That is the divide. Then there's the animal that is thrown our way of our newfound success. And I know we haven't won anything, and, you know, I'm not going to say success strongly, but what you would assume to be future success under this new ownership and new management and new found happiness we have as supporting our lovely football club. People are jumping on the bandwagon a little bit and suddenly wanting a ticket here, there and everywhere, but also complaining when they can't get a ticket here, there and everywhere. And the main argument from large quarters of Newcastle fans is, where the fuck were you at when we weren't very good? And that, generally speaking, wrapped up in cling film is the argument that is continuing to ravage between Newcastle fans on the away ticket system. Now, as I said at the start of this video, Newcastle United have called an official meeting that people were allowed to apply to be at, and only certain people got selected from a ballot to discuss away points in the away point system. I know a couple of people who were invited to this. Generally, people at this meeting will be people who have a lot of loyalty points who can have a say, and some of them, I don't know, some of them maybe not so much. So Newcastle are looking and analysing, as we know with everything. You know, we get digital season tickets next season. You know, the safe standings come in the Gallagher end. Now they are looking at how does our model work. Now, other teams have very different ways of doing things. Now, generally speaking, most teams will do it how we do. You go to an away game, you get 1 point. As long as you don't cancel your season ticket, those points stay with you forever. And you accrue points by going to more away games, and then so on and so on and so on. And when away tickets are released, say let's go Sunderland, like we're ever going to play them anytime soon. Now they're a semi-professional team, but the derby would be 180 points, for example. Let's just say that's a very high number. You have to have been to 180 games away to even be able to qualify and apply to get your Sunderland away ticket. That's how it works. For any subscribers watching this who don't know how the Newcastle ticket system works for away matches, that is how it works in a nutshell. If you cancel your season ticket for any reason, those points get wiped. You can't move them to anyone. So any Newcastle fan who jacked the ticket in under Mike Ashley, that's another reason I was very surprised they did, because they lost what might have been 50, 60, 70 loyalty points. I couldn't sleep at night. I really couldn't. All them matches and all them points accrued to just go to dust. Now, how do the bigger teams in England do it? Well, some teams do a ballot. Now, Manchester United, as I understand it at the moment, they do a ballot where if you're a season ticket holder, you have to qualify for a certain thing. So you have to have basically scanned your season ticket at a certain amount of matches. So they know you've actually attended games. You have to have been to a certain amount of cup games in the home fixtures for you to apply to get an away ticket. You're then entered into that ballot, and of course, as we know, ballots can be totally random. You might get a ticket, you might not. So there are very different ways of doing things. Now, this is going to continue to burn on as a debate. And why I said earlier in this video that there's no right answer on this is because there isn't. Going back to the different arguments, if I was a fan, and I'm not, who had 180 points, and Newcastle then suddenly changed the away points system where it became a ballot, let's say, and some fan who had 5 points was going to an away game over me, would I be absolutely fucking livid? Of course I would. 100%. If I've been to 180 away games in my life with buses, trains, travel, hotels, ticket prices, week in, week out, and then some bloke's just rocked up out of nowhere in the last 2 years and he's going instead of me, there's no loyalty rewarded there. And that's why I totally understand that argument. Now, the other side of the argument of the person who has maybe had a season ticket a couple of years and he wants to get more, but he can't because points are starting so high. All the loyal fans who've been going for decades are taking them. How does he ever get on that ladder? I understand that argument. And then you've got the aspect of children. So kids who are getting season tickets, it's not because they didn't want to go under Mike Ashley, it's because they've only just started supporting the team. How is our younger generation of fans ever going to get to go to away matches until people start dying? Sorry to sound morbid, but the only way these guys who have 180 points are going to get knocked off that grid, because they're not going to stop going and cancel a season ticket, is to basically be in a coffin. So sorry if you're watching this video and you're one of them people who's maybe worried that their time is ticking. That's the harsh realities of it. So I understand that argument. I understand a fan who just wants to go to an away game. But what I see a lot of on social media is that split, of course, that argument, if you want to look at it that way, where both fans get very bitter towards each other. You shouldn't be going instead of me. Well, how the hell am I ever going to get to where you're at if I'm not ever allowed to go? It's like a tug of war with a rope. But some fans also acknowledge that they are totally understandable that the fans who've got 180 points and put their miles in deserve first priority. They're not discrediting that in a lot of ways. What they're trying to say is, You guys should be rewarded. But what about that grey area in the middle where people, have had a ticket for 6 years but still only have 20 loyalty points in the bag because not that many games went low enough for them to get one? How do they get more? And what the solution is to that is a different minefield in itself. So I'm going to throw to you my opinion on this, and I voiced this on social media. I voiced this to my friends. I personally believe, after giving this a lot of thought, what would be a very, very fair system for Newcastle fans is every season ticket holder, whether you go to an away game in the season or not, at the end of a full season of watching Newcastle at home at St James's Park, gets, let's say, anywhere from 2 to 4 loyalty points per season. So you get 4 points per season just for having a season ticket, as a way of the club saying thank you very much for attending 19 home games and spending 700 quid of your hard-earned money. There's 4 loyalty points. So it would take a fan 10 years of having a season ticket to get, say, 40 points. 40 points is still not going to get them to many away games. You're looking at maybe large allocations like Rangers on Tuesday that go very low. But it's going to get the ball rolling for them to accrue points. And it's also simultaneously not going to annoy the loyal fans who think that they should always get first priority and the system is fair because they've put their miles in, because they are going to get nowhere near them. And them fans are also going to accrue 4 points in the process. So if you've got 180 points from now and then you suddenly started getting 4 for your season ticket at the end of every year, not only are you going to get all the away points from away games that you go to, Crystal Palace, Bournemouth, Everton, West Ham, you name it, you are also going to get a bonus 4 at the end. So that way, nobody loses, but fans who are trying to get on that hamster wheel of getting loyalty points, they get something. And rightly so, in my opinion, because cost of living has gone up. So if you can afford a season ticket every year to support your football club, why shouldn't the club throw in some sort of reward of loyalty? You are being loyal by having a season ticket every year. That is my solution, and I've sat down and I've really thought about this. I don't see what repercussions could come of that solution. It's not going to mean randomers who've never gone to an away game for the last 10 years can suddenly go to one over Dave, who follows Newcastle home and away religiously and sacrificed his marriage and his kids and his life to follow his football club all over the country. But it allows a season ticket holder to just know their loyalty points are maybe not going up as fast as they'd like, but they are going in the right direction and they are getting loyalty points. They have loyalty points. I've got a mate who's had a season ticket for years now. He doesn't have one loyalty point and he can't. He's looking for games like Rangers pre-season matches to just get a loyalty point. And I understand that frustration, because if he could get them, he'd go to more away games, he would. Now, some of you might be wondering how I get to so many away games on my match vlogs if I'm saying I don't have loads. I'm just in a very good community. And that brings me on to my last point. I really hope at this meeting we do not change how away tickets work. I understand there's fans who only buy a ticket to get a point and don't actually go, and I get that's annoying. But what that also allows is fans who don't have any loyalty points to go, because that ticket gets passed around. I don't want away tickets to go digital, because I know so many fans who get tickets from other people on the regular, and everyone gets kind of a slice of the pie with how it works at the moment. Like, I can message 3 people and say, are you going to Crystal Palace, for example? If not, can I have your ticket? They get a loyalty point, I get to go to the game, everyone's happy. So I'm very worried from a selfish point of view, and I talked about biased at the start. I'm worried from my own point of view whether any new changes to the system might affect how many away games I get to. I really, really do. It's a huge, huge debate, and it's going to continue to be, and I've got no doubts about it. Some subscribers watching this video will not agree with my opinion. They might jump down the opinion of keep it as it is. Fans who've done the hard miles should continue to go. But it's an interesting one. It's a grey area, and I hope any subscribers watching this who are maybe from other countries, who don't know how it works, might have got something from this video. If you found this a boring one because it doesn't affect you, if you're watching from, say, Australia, America, I apologise, but this is a big debate in the Newcastle community, and one that's fresh in my mind, and one that I feel like I've got a decent answer for. So please let me know what you think about my proposal for what we could do to improve this system. And apologies, I've realised on this video I've said the word loyalty points more than you will see Almiron running a sprint in a football match. I just feel like this video has been loyalty points. So I apologise for that, but it's a term that I've had to use. Newcastle fans, if ever I wanted you to drop down and let me know your thoughts on this one in the comments. If you're a season ticket holder, I want to know. If you're an away fan, I want to know. If you're someone who can't go to away games, I want to know. This is a conversation where comments on my YouTube video is the main reason I'm doing this. I'm not doing this just so you can watch it and hit the thumbs up. I want to know what you think in the comments. And that'll be very interesting for me to discuss further afield with my friends and fellow fans about what people think through my own community on Black and White Banter. Let me know. And please, don't go down each other's throats in the comments. If you've got 180 points and you want it to stay the same, just be nice to the person who's maybe got 10 and wants to find a way of getting on the wheel of going to more away games. Let's just all stay nice, Newcastle fans, if you've stuck around this long, drop that like, drop that subscribe. As I've said at the start of this video, and I am going to start mentioning it more because it's not every day I get to do it, I am going to the United States of America. We've got events in bars the day before games with DJs, but we've got a tailgating event that is going to be funded by a GoFundMe page where there are going to be beer kegs and barbecues and just... get me on that plane. But all the content is going to be coming with that, Newcastle fans, and I want you to hit that subscribe if you are interested in seeing some of that. I'm a fan first and a content creator second. I'll always say that, but I do love putting things out for some of you guys to see, and I love the community that Black and White Banter has built. And on the back of that, get us across all socials. Black and White Banter, Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, Threads, I'm still getting to grips with Threads, and Twitter. I've already said Twitter. Get us on all of them because the content on there is very, very different. And I'll see you on the next video where, who knows, I keep finishing these by saying it might be a transfer update. Things have gone a little bit quiet this week, but there's always something to talk about with Newcastle. Away the lads!